Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. By the way, how are you all, my loyal viewers? This time, we're going to discuss an interesting film titled Panic Room, 2002. Curious about what the story is like? Alright, rather than taking too long, let's just get straight into the discussion. And if you like this channel, as usual, please subscribe so you don't miss out on other interesting videos.
We like to call it. Here is the living room.
The story begins with a young mother named Maya who is looking to buy a luxurious house in the middle of New York City. The agent then convinces her that this house is truly special and highly sought after by many property collectors. Besides having an elegant design, its location right in the heart of New York City certainly makes this house very valuable. After that, they are invited to see the most exclusive feature the house has to offer.
At the slightest eye. It's called a panic.
Turns out, this house is equipped with a secret room called the Panic Room, which is a room lined with thick concrete walls and has an automatic steel door that is impossible for anyone to break through. The function of this room is as a shelter in case something dangerous happens, whether it's a natural disaster or a burglary. Not only that, the room is also equipped with security monitors and an emergency telephone.
That door is a...
Long story short, Maya finally decides to buy the house. Seeing that her mother is still immersed in sadness, Sarah tries to cheer her up so she won't keep being sad because her husband cheated on her with another woman. As the night grows later, Maya suggests that Sarah get some rest, especially since she will be starting her first day at her new school the next day.
Come here.
Just before going to bed, Maya is seen activating the house's security system first.
Non-ready zone.
After the security system is activated, the two of them, already exhausted, finally decide to get some rest. However, without Maya's knowledge, the house she had just moved into had now become a target for burglars. And as we can see, due to how tight the house's security system is, the burglars are even having trouble getting inside. But they wouldn't be called professional-grade burglars if they couldn't find a way to infiltrate. A moment later, Borin, the novice burglar, is seen shocked when he realizes that this house is actually occupied by someone. After checking the condition of the occupant's bedroom, Borin immediately opens the front door so his accomplices can come in. Once they are inside, Borin, who is starting to panic, quickly tells them that the house is already occupied by new residents. Afraid of ending up in prison, Borin asks Junior to just call off the robbery plan, especially since all their movements are now being recorded by the CCTV cameras. However, Junior insists on carrying out the plan. Apparently, he knows that in one of the rooms in this house, there is a treasure worth around $22 million hidden by the previous owner. After thinking it over again, Borin, who had been hesitant, finally decides to go through with the plan along with his accomplices. Meanwhile, Maya starts to feel disturbed by a glaring light coming from inside the panic room. Just as she is about to turn off the light, something begins to happen. Just as Maya was about to turn off the light, she was startled to realize that there were burglars already inside her house. Without a second thought, Maya immediately ran to Sarah to save her, afraid that something might happen to her.
Where are you going? Huh?
They managed to escape, and then Sarah suggested hiding in the panic room to stay safe from the burglars. In the end, they managed to get inside the panic room.
I don't know.
However, the burglars then informed them that the item they were looking for turned out to be inside that very panic room. However, Maya still didn't trust them and asked them to leave immediately, because no matter what, she and her daughter would never come out of that room. Feeling that persuasion wasn't working, Burin came up with an idea to force them out of the panic room. Seeing the burglars' movements, the quick-witted Sarah immediately started looking for various tools that might come in handy.
Are you guys just gonna stay?
Meanwhile, Burin intended to do something to the air ventilation shaft. Apparently, they planned to poison the occupants of the house using gas. While Burin and Raoul were too busy carrying out the plan, Junior could only watch from a distance. Burin then explained that the purpose of this plan was only to make them panic so they would come out of the panic room. Realizing that they were about to be poisoned, Maya and Sarah immediately tried to seal the ventilation holes using duct tape they found behind some items. When Maya started sealing the ventilation, Burin and Junior actually got into an argument with Raoul because he had pumped in too much gas. They were worried that if the occupants died inside, there would be no one left to open the panic room. However, Raoul, who was the most ruthless of them all, completely ignored the warning and recklessly kept the gas flowing. They were completely taken aback by Maya's reckless action, which made them seem as if they had to wash their faces with a burst of flames.
What is that? Turn the gas off.
Fortunately, the fire was eventually put out. On the other hand, Maya felt relieved to see that Sarah was still doing just fine.
I'm the loving grandson who put in the fucking time, walking him, feeding him.
When she saw that the burglars were busy arguing, Maya felt that this was the perfect time to retrieve her phone, which she had left outside the panic room. Hearing this, Sarah asked her mother to get ready, while she would give the signal. After a moment that might have made you hold your breath, Maya finally managed to come back with her phone in hand. Realizing this, Junior immediately panicked. However, Raoul told them to stay calm because he was confident that there would be no phone signal inside the panic room. And sure enough, Maya began to grow confused because her phone signal was indeed struggling to penetrate the thick walls of the room. Amidst this confusion, Junior seemed to have sharp instincts. He grew suspicious when he heard Maya's voice, which sounded like she was prying something open.
Junior, when I should cut the phone lines.
Meanwhile, his other accomplices were trying to find the telephone cable route in order to cut it off.
Put Stephen on the line.
What terrible luck! Just as the call to ask for police assistance had successfully connected, the line was immediately cut off after Burin had already destroyed the house's telephone network. A moment later, Maya began to panic when she saw her daughter suddenly turn pale. The situation became even more worrying because Sarah's injection was still inside the refrigerator. Apparently, Sarah had a blood sugar condition that could drop suddenly at any time. Meanwhile, outside the panic room, the group of burglars were once again bickering. Junior, who could no longer bear the pain from his face being burned by the flames, chose to give up and wanted to get himself checked at the hospital. Moreover, he was worried that Maya had managed to contact the police. Rather than getting caught later, Junior decided to leave. Hearing this decision, Burin and Raul were immediately annoyed.
Safe. But I don't ever want to.
Reluctantly, Raul asked Burin to continue with the plan anyway. At the same time, Maya's husband, Stefan, suddenly showed up at the house. After a long time of rarely coming home, Stefan immediately asked about the whereabouts of his wife and daughter. Raul took advantage of this opportunity, intending to use Stefan as bait to make Maya come out of the panic room.
Let it be.
While Stefan was being tortured like a car thief, Burin, who didn't want Stefan to lose his life, tried to persuade Maya to open the door immediately.
Knock it off! You killed him!
However, amidst the confusion, Maya grew even more panicked seeing Sarah's condition continuing to weaken until she started having seizures. Feeling like she had no other choice, Maya finally took the risk of going out to get Sarah's injection, while the burglars were busy dealing with Stefan. However, it turned out that all of this was just a trap. Apparently, Raul had disguised himself as Stefan to lure Maya out of the panic room. After successfully getting Sarah's injection, Maya quickly rushed back to her daughter. However, at the same time, Burin was shocked to see a young child having seizures. Realizing that she had been tricked, Maya immediately hurried to find another way to save her daughter. At the same time, a scream of pain was heard when Junior accidentally got crushed by the steel door. Maya took advantage of this opportunity to grab a weapon. Seeing Sarah's condition becoming more and more critical, Maya asked Burin to immediately inject the medicine into her daughter. Feeling pity, Burin asked Maya to step back first if she wanted Sarah to be injected with the medication.
Nice house you guys got. Like this. Done.
After finishing the injection, Burin informed her that the medicine had been successfully administered to Sarah. He assured her that Sarah's condition would soon improve. Hearing that, Maya immediately rushed to check on Stefan's condition. Meanwhile, Burin immediately began to crack open the safe. It turned out that he was a former worker who had been involved in the construction of the house. That was why he knew the location and how to open the safe, which had a very tight security system. When the safe was finally opened, Raul was instantly amazed by Burin's skill, and it turned out that the item they had been looking for all along was valuable documents in the form of bonds worth $22 million. After their plan succeeded, the burglars intended to leave the house immediately. However, they had no idea that outside the panic room, Maya was devising a plan. She then asked the still injured Stefan to hold onto the weapon just as all the doors began to open. Burin began to have a bad feeling when they were forced to go through the stairway. Seeing that Stefan was already holding a weapon, Burin asked him to make peace because the job he had been tasked with was already done. He also said that Sarah would be returned safely. Hearing that, Stefan asked them to release Sarah immediately. However, Raul, who was still acting tough, instead used Sarah as a shield. But then Maya suddenly appeared carrying a wooden plank in her hand.
Put that gun down.
Sam.
After being hit on the head with the plank by Maya, Raul, who didn't want his life to end, still tried to muster his remaining strength. Burin, who had actually been about to flee, ended up worrying about the safety of Maya's family. Completely unexpectedly, Burin, who had a good heart, still managed to help Maya's family. After making sure they were safe, Burin immediately hurried away when he heard the sound of police sirens getting closer.
Don't move! I will kill you! Yeah! I want to see the prop in your head!
It's okay.
Unfortunately, Burin's fate was truly tragic. He ultimately ended up getting caught by the police because he was too late to escape after trying to save Maya's family. In fact, had he chosen not to care, he might have already gotten away while carrying the bond documents worth $22 million. What do you think? This film truly delivers tension from beginning to end. There's no need for further explanation because everything is already clearly shown. However, we still should give appreciation to Burin. Even though he was a burglar, he still had a conscience to help Maya's family. In the end, he still had to answer for his actions and was arrested by the police. Okay, that's probably all for this review and discussion of the film. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on other interesting videos.